So, and that's, maybe our conversation is heading towards the idea you do try and do it all. You try and balance it. Maybe is that a piece of integrity in a way that you can't get it, you can't get to that hippie ideal, but you can move towards it if that's what your box of values is leading, where that's leading you.
Yeah. I do. I mean, I tend to agree with that we should strive for the best possible outcome, because why wouldn't we? Like, by definition, we should strive for what that is. And I do think, where you said it before, somebody might say, well, what's the best outcome? Who decides that? I do think that it is the maximum amount of that feeling of goodness, happiness, fulfillment, whatever word you want to use, that people have in their lives. Feeling their best kind of at scale is the best way to get there. It's just a very strange concept to me. And I mean that literally. Like, I struggle to wrap my head around it, of like, that seems so obvious, yet somehow we as humans have gotten so far off course. And it begs the question, like, why did that happen? Because even if you do take that very biological view of it, again, nothing intervened. It was just us that brought ourselves here. So, like, in a really kind of meta way, are we actually, is it possible that that's what our objective is, to feel the maximum amount of goodness, if it seems like our evolutionary biological nature does not align to that? It seems like we are more geared towards growth and expansion over, like, the maximum goodness or happiness that we feel.
Well, I would disagree. I think the growth thing has happened to us. We didn't have good birth control. Our science wasn't highly enough evolved.
Can I ask one thing there, Dave? Just because I think it's an underlying principle of this. Apologies for cutting you off, but I think about this a lot. When you say it happened to us, it gets back to that kind of natural versus unnatural. And I totally get what you're saying, and I think by and large I agree with it. But I can't shake this other part of me that says, like, even the most manufactured plastic that exists on this planet today, if you think about it in a certain way, is natural, because we created it, right? We are from this earth. We then created, our minds evolved and created all these things and created this mindset of growth. And that's what we're working towards. So that's when I say, it seems like we're designed for that. Again, as far as I know, no aliens came down and kind of intervened in this and said, all right, you guys are headed down the path, which is quote unquote natural, but we're going to throw you off course and create this unnatural. This is all from the earth. Everything that sits here today, the natural, the unnatural, it's all from this earth. So sorry, keep going with your answer, but I just wanted to give that kind of framing to it.
Well, I think what I was going to say is less important than what I want to answer. That it comes from nature, but now it's in a scrambled form. So the rightness of it, the biological rightness of it, is that we had, in the last 10,000 years, we've lived in a golden niche, a golden age where everything was perfect. And that was partially because these huge cycles of phosphorus and nitrogen and sulfur, all these things are moving around the earth in a way that is no longer going to be able to hold that niche together.
Yep.
If you and this gets back to the biologist Aldo Leopold, that a thing is right for bigger reasons than how it affects individuals. It's right because because without the rightness, we can't survive. So and that gets into what's in our genes again, that something is right because it's sustainable and sustainable socially, sustainable from a energy and et cetera standpoint. But I think when you say that plastic is natural, it's natural, but it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit into our world. If the fish are eating plastic, it's been proven that many of them, they actually change sexes and do all kinds of weird things.
But with that framing of if it's not sustainable, it's not right. In some ways, then, if you believe, I think the most commonly held science, this planet, the universe, isn't right then, right? Because it's going to end at some point, right? The sun's going to burn out, black holes are going to consume things.
Okay. We can go with that. We can. It's going to disappear. But until it disappears, and until our, personally, I think maybe the universe keeps reseeding itself with comets and asteroids, and so something's going to smack into the earth, send our pieces flying somewhere else. And plus, although I'm not religious, I am highly spiritual. I've had some experiences that, indicate to me that let's not worry, let's not be fearful, let's live well here because it's okay. There's all these beings or millions of things are dying every single day.
Mm.
So, but I'm losing my train of thought there. I guess it's the idea that, yeah, there will be an end point, but our mission is to live as joyfully and as thoughtfully and responsibly as possible. So again, let's go. Let's go for the jackpot.
Yeah, no, and I guess what I think I would say to that, I haven't processed it enough, is that I think what you're saying is logical, makes sense, and I think I probably agree with it, that we should strive for those things. I think I would also, though, have to acknowledge and say, though, that I can't say that that is the true objectively right thing, though, because that's what I'm trying to ground ourselves in, right? What's the principle we could follow? And you put forth a principle of if it's sustainable, then it's right. And it's like, well, none of this is. So like this idea for me, what it goes to is that this idea of an objective right, I throw that out and I'm like, that can't be it. It's only, we just have to be authentic to ourselves and figure out what, to your point, what feels right to us, trying to be as thoughtful and considerate as we can be, as reasonably we can be. And the best we can do is to just do that. And I can't help but feel that that's the right answer, but it's also not a great answer, because I think a lot of people could follow that advice and do things that you or I might look at and be like, holy God, how are they doing that? Like, what are they doing? Yeah. But they're thinking, I'm just doing what feels right to me. And that's kind of the conundrum of this whole thing.